I can't say, but I guess for now, maybe, yeah. There's still a lot of potential with the Wii, so I mean, there's still a possibility that there could be another Zelda for it. Towards the final stages of development, my attention had to change from actually producing content in the game to converting it so that it could be playable on the Wii. And there's actually quite a few things that I was hoping to put into the game, implement in the game, but because of scheduling constraints I just wasn't able to, so that I regret not having time to do. When I first went into developing Phantom Hourglass, it wasn't that I was planning on creating something that only used the stylus. I wanted to create something that fully realized the various features of the DS. And as development continued, as we proceeded through development, I realized that having the player use a combination of stylus and button controls actually took them out of the experience. So, for example, controlling Link using just the stylus was something very natural. So it wasn't as though it was intentional, it was just kind of a consequence of the outcome of development. Now that you mention it, that would have been, maybe that would have been an interesting alternative. But as we developed the game, we realized that having the map on the top and having the control screen on the bottom was something that was really fit well with the game, because with the touch screen, controlling Link on the touch screen with that top-down view really made the experience direct. The play experience really, the control was really well suited for that, so I'm happy with what we did. And also with many of the boss battles, it uses both of the screen. It's kind of like a vertical kind of extension from where Link is standing in the bottom screen. So if we made that horizontal, if we made that book style, I don't know how that would affect the gameplay. In the GameCube and the Wii versions of Zelda, using the sword has been something where you have to aim and then you strike. On the DS, it's I guess more or less simplified because all you have to do is tap on an enemy and then you'll hit him. It's not as though it's easier because it's simpler, because this actually allowed us to create the need for more strategy, because while you're attacking an enemy, they can also attack you back. So there's more factors for the player to take into consideration. So it's not less of an action game because it takes place on the touch screen. It's actually more complex in certain ways. Phantom Hourglass has been released in Japan, and reception has been very, very positive, and we've actually been able to receive feedback from the users. And based on that, I will definitely take all of those opinions, those comments into consideration in creating the next Zelda, whether it be Wii or DS. As I mentioned before, there's still many possibilities for Zelda on the Wii, and we do have some ideas kind of in the works, but I can't say for sure because none of them have been approved, and we're still very much in the planning process. So I hope you look forward to whatever comes out. As developers, we see so much possibility, so much potential in creating games for the Wii and for the DS. Because we have such amazing hardware to work with, the possibilities for us still remain endless. So I still see a lot of potential for Zelda. But in the process, if something different comes up, if there's an idea that can really take advantage of the DS and the Wii, then and I end up working on it, that's something also that excites me very much. In Phantom Hourglass, there's a time dungeon where the player is restricted by time, and in that dungeon there are invincible enemies, and this is a new experience for all Zelda players, and actually it's very interesting because new users are having an easier time with this time dungeon than the more hardcore gamers. So this is something that's fascinating me quite a bit. So I don't think that it'll be necessarily easier for gamers. It actually might be harder. $80 hours? You might think that because it's a handheld game that it's short, that it's quick to play through, but there are so many different features included in the game that I hope that you'll experience them all and really play it through. Just because it's a handheld doesn't mean it's something easy or something quick to get through. Whether we start off with gameplay or with the storyline kind of depends on what type of game we're creating. For example, with Twilight Princess, if we didn't have the story, we wouldn't have been able to come up with the gameplay and how the player would progress through that story. But with Phantom Hourglass, because it was a sequel to The Wind Waker, the story was kind of set. The staff kind of knew where they were coming from. So the environment having been set, they could kind of play with the gameplay. There is one document that's on Aonuma-san's PC and a couple of PCs in his department, and that's stamped Big Red Confidential. It's not as though when they go in to create a game that they know exactly where it'll fit in the timeline, but after it's complete, they know more or less where it might fit in the timeline. Well, I don't know, that answer might change in the future, so. He says the light lights? He doesn't like those because they steal rupees. And so every time they appear, he kind of finds himself bracing himself. Right now, Aonuma-san's core staff is very busy with other things, but maybe if some of the staff members free up, there's always that possibility. And if fans continue to maybe make requests like that, then it could come to fruition. But right now, there isn't anything planned. Various ideas have been proposed, and it's all a matter of whether or not the Link character or the other characters would fit into that environment. So, for example, with Soul Calibur, it worked out really well. But as for party games, he's received suggestions on creating an online battle game. So that's something that they did do with Phantom Hourglass. There is a Wi-Fi battle mode. But rather than just create a fighting game, there has to be something new, some feature in that game that distinguishes it from other fighting games. So until that comes along, he doesn't feel like he'd be doing the franchise justice if he were just to create a fighting game for the sake of creating a fighting game. Aonuma-san and his wife have been longtime fans of the Myst series, and actually before heading off to E3, he found that there's a Myst 4, and that's something that he actually spent some time with on the plane playing. His goal is actually to beat it before his wife does. And he understands that it's siblings are working on developing Myst on the series, so he really respects that team very much.